Hello, beautiful familia out there in the YouTube world. I have decided that I really want to start sharing some card readings with you from my favorite deck of cards that I've been using for 10 years now at least. And these cards have traveled around the world with me and mean a great deal to me because of their symbolism of combining Asian influence with Native American influence and the galactic influence in the imagery, but the sentiments are really beautiful. So the three cards that I pulled this week include this first one of balance, courage, and strength. Yeah. So let's start with courage. I think that was the first one that I pulled actually. And the image of this is here, which I love. The two fish that are swimming out of water. And this is something that I've felt a lot in my life from a very, very early age. I have felt like a fish out of water. And I have been grappling with this issue for many, many years, decades, of how to feel more comfortable in my environment when I see so many things that I don't agree with, that don't resonate with me. And being one of those kids that was, excuse me, I'm sucking on like a lozenge right now. One of those kids that was asking why all of the time. My poor parents, bless their heart. I remember them finally giving up after a while and just saying, because they couldn't answer all of my questions. And certainly my older brothers, I remember them being quite fed up with my questions. And I think after a while I stopped asking questions. There must have been a tipping point where I had to relearn the art of asking important questions. And now I'm going through a preparation phase of wanting to step into being a podcast host, where I will in fact be asking a lot of questions, important questions, to people who I want to bring on to my show. I'm really excited about that. That'll be coming out this year. It's called Global Alchemy. And I thought these cards would be a nice addition of sharing what's really important to me. Is I love to use Divinity cards. I have a wide variety of them, but these I've had the longest. At this point, I've given a lot of my cards away, but I wanted to really go into the symbolism of these three before I move on with my deck. Again, looking at all of these images, there's a hidden globe in there, if you can see it. Oh, I guess not. So this is just the mountains and the fish. And this one is talking about how we feel separate from the world around us, right? And that we need to learn how to swim in a new era of consciousness with a new purpose in life. So you might be going through an upheaval of sorts at this time, and really looking at your life and what you're letting go of. You know, here we are in this new year, the 2020 year. What are we letting go of? And for me, it is a lot of it has to do with just my dishonoring of my own intuitive powers. I have a very strong intuition, and I've given that power away so many times to others who want to be in my space or want something from me. Maybe it doesn't feel in alignment, but I want to get along with everybody. There's that deep wound of disconnection. And so rather than honoring myself and my needs, I tend to let others make decisions for me against my own intuitive ability and my own intuitive guidance. And so that's what I'm personally letting go of this year, is not listening to my inner wisdom, my intuition, and not saying no to things that I need to say no to. I'm ready to step into my power more than ever, say no to those things that I know aren't serving my highest good. And, here it says here, clinging to addictions. So that addictive nature of wanting to belong has created environments where I'm standing in the middle of a room of unhealthy behavior or being in an unhealthy relationship purely out of wanting to, I don't know, just be tolerant and loving and kind, but then I'm the one that's feeling traumatized, even though the trauma is coming from another person's reality. And yes, there's a point of holding space for that, but at this point in time, I am consciously choosing to say no to behaviors that don't feel in alignment with who I am. So I'm letting go of addictions to things like fear of failure, a need for approval, the fear of desertion, the fear of isolation, the fear of loneliness. This can keep us in places and situations that don't feel authentic to who we truly are. And I'm certainly ready to let go of that. So I'm ready to live in my power with courage. And that's, of course, what this is all about. And be okay with being that fish out of water for a time. Be okay with not always being surrounded by people that are living the life that I want to live or am choosing to live. The other card that I pulled is balance. So this ties in beautifully with what I'm also thinking a lot about right now is how do I find balance? And look at how beautiful that card is with this man with his arms up in the air with surrender, the Native American man, and those rocks perfectly balanced there, and the hovering globe and the earth energy there so prevalent with the animals. And so this is talking about really working through having a daily spiritual life built on a strong foundation of being in the physical world. So I'm definitely targeting my daily practices of healthier physical movement consistently and eating those high vibrational foods that are living and not loaded with a lot of dead sugars, preservatives, fried oils, etc. But clean, healthy food, which is actually bringing me to a place of eating at home more. I love to go out to eat. I love it. I love trying new foods and turning it into a big social event. But I don't know about you, but I tend to eat much healthier when I eat at home. I'm a really good cook. I know so much about food and health food in particular that when I cook at home, it's very pure, very healthy, very tasty, and I feel a lot better when I do that the majority of the time. But sometimes I end up splurging and I go out to eat, and then I just make up for it later at home at this point. So I know that, let's see here, when I'm taking care of my physical body, this allows for the higher energies that are coming to us in all kinds of places and nuances and people. Those can resonate more clearly. We pick up on them more clearly when our body is in balance, and our body is certainly a good sign of what's out of balance. If we're feeling tired, if we're feeling agitated, stressed, sick, something is really out of balance. And the biggest factor is, what are we ingesting through our ears, our eyes? What are we saying outward as well, which fills the air around us and creates a certain specific dynamic and communication with those people who we've invited into our lives. So we are, it says here, your being is like a spirit lodge, the foundation of which is rooted in the physical manifestation, strong against the storms along the trail to higher consciousness. To take power, make your spirit available. Take your power and bring your physical and spiritual natures into balance. Yes, my dears. Balance, balance, balance. So let's look at that image one more time. So powerful. I love these cards. So the last one I pulled was strength. Now, strength, that is really important right now as we are looking at this balance between a daily meditation practice. I don't know about you, but that's something that I've been doing off and on, certainly not as regularly as I would like, but I am committed this year, now more than ever, to meditate and spend time in nature regularly. This is where I access my own power, my sovereign power, and that I can be my own teacher in life, getting inside my own head, releasing those things that maybe have confused me in the past, the different dynamics with people that have come my way, and looking at those as gifts of lessons that I can learn from, and also realizing that everything that comes into our lives is worthy of being looked at as a teaching. We are constantly learning from, especially those dynamics that seem to be in conflict with ourselves or our beliefs, people that maybe rub us the wrong way. Certainly, it's happened to me numerous times where I've gotten a lot better thanks to my meditation practice and a lot of the work that I've done. I tend not to react as much as I think I did in my 20s. I know I don't react the way I did when I was in my 20s or even my 30s. So now in my 40s, as I'm adulting and have done 5 different 10-day silent retreats where I really got to look at my mind, my thoughts, what were the things that were coming up for me over and over and over again. I was very much oscillating between reflecting the past and even into the future a bit of what my plans want, what I want to happen in my life. This can take us out of the present moment. It seems so obvious, but I think if we all really took a good look at where our thoughts are at, are we stuck in the past? Are we talking about the past all the time? Are we stuck in the future? Are we really talking about the future all of the time? And what about the present moment? What's setting ourselves up for enjoying the moment, being as present as possible? Now, meditation, which I'm talking a lot about that because of this image here of the Buddha. Another factor of these cards I love is just the Asian influence with the galactic influence, as I mentioned, and the nature elements incorporated. So it says here, learn by seeing that your life is a teaching. Like the red lotus healing its pain and inner solitude, gain strength from entering your wounds and learn from them. The magician remembers the trail and takes a different one, even if it is more difficult. In this way, you build strength. So I don't know about you. I hope these cards resonate for you, but I'm certainly going through a big transformation in my life, a letting go. And these 3 cards that are representing finding that balance, strength, and courage within myself. I think these really are telling of the phases of the new year, this 2020, which I'm here to have as much clarity this year as possible, seeing with 2020 vision, and stepping out into sharing my gifts. Finally, I've been tiptoeing and sharing them here and there, but I've realized that my service, which I need to be sharing it in a creative way, I really would love to be sharing it globally, but I'm not willing to be hopping on a plane every other month even, or week, like I was the last year. That was a lot. So I'm gonna hunker down and stay here in the Northwest, while creating content to share online. And this is the first of many sharings I would love to offer you guys. Please feel free to subscribe to my channel and stay in touch with me. I'm reaching out to many people right now to see who I can interview for my upcoming podcast, Global Alchemy, where I want to interview change makers, creators, inventors, authors, business owners, people who have something that's amazing on this planet that they're offering to create positive change. And I would love to leverage their work and really highlight what they are and who they are and what they are doing to a larger audience. So please feel free to reach out to me if you know someone I should interview, or even yourself you're interested in being interviewed, and we can talk more about that. Okay, many blessings to you in this new year 2020, and much love to you. Thank you for tuning in and sticking with me this long, 16 minutes into it. Okay, bye.